Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're listening to song number, I think, 37 out of all of these songs that we're listening to here on the channel from Eurovision 2021. This time around it's Ukraine, the song Shum by the group Go A. And Go A is of course another one of the returning acts from who was supposed to go last year, but due to the circumstances, of course, weren't able to, so they got a new chance this time around. I remember them being a bit out there, experimental last year, so really just excited to hear where this is going. Let's start listening. That's a rhythm to really introduce from the beginning. It's like it comes off on the backbeat, doesn't it? Wide pads, very spacey. The bass walk is quite, very reverb, so it's not super distinct. It's kind of a nice sound to it. Okay, elevation. This is enjoyable. I'm liking this a lot, actually. It's so contrastive in the sounds. I can't... Like, as I said, this bass walk that it has in the lower register is very reverb. And then this really high piercing melody. It's a nice contrast. Okay, tempo increase. Tempo automation. Very nice, very nice. Okay, arpeggios. It's like a nice filtering in with sounds gradually, I like how it just keeps going with the tempo. We've got some more growly sounds also filtering through, I think. It's like a continuous build and it's so intense. Big sweep ups, and here we've got some big pulsating. And a tempo automation again. On the backbeat. Ah, this is fantastic. Alright. It's very like static. It's like they pan the hits left and right ear. Very statically. Okay, it's quite a straight beat here on the rhythmic inputs. Very high intensity in it. We've got like the guitar doing the straight hit and then the octave. We're still doing tempo automation, I think. It's ridiculous. Yep, okay. It's just moving so gradually and it's all of its chaoticness. I've got like a little high note at the end to also hold it out. Okay! I did not expect this at all. I was a bit torn last year, I'm not gonna lie. This time around, I'm not torn at all. I really enjoyed this. I thought that it had so many really fun and fresh ideas. Of course, now this tempo automation doesn't hit me as hard because we of course have a song with a tempo automation from before this year in France. But if we didn't, this would be so much more just engaging and shocking. Now I'm just shocked the fact that we have two of them because I can't remember the last time we had. So I'm super excited about that. It's used incredibly effectively in this song, I gotta say, because it feels like a constant build, and then halfway through there's like this kind of break part where it just goes back down, and then it alters the tempo again to make you feel like it's gradually increasing, while in reality they must have probably stopped up the tempo and done the whole process over again. It just feels like an endless journey going forward into this kind of chaotic explosion at the end of all things just mashing together. It's really interestingly put together, I think. It's one for these analytical... it's very... what do you call it? usable for a deep analysis in what everything is going on in the song and such. Because I think there's a lot of things that just goes on all the time, and it would be really interesting to just sit down and really draw out all of the ideas they've put at the different places. I think I'm going to do that actually, because it's such a unique collection of sounds and collection of ideas, and how everything kind of goes together in ways that you might not expect. I'm also liking like the production quality of this song. It's so difficult to say because everything is so experimental with it that you don't really know what you want to expect from a production standpoint. But I really do think that everything sounds really well polished and really well contrasted with each other. Like all of the sounds, they work together very nicely in their dynamic between each other. And that is, you know, with experimental music, that could be one thing that you're not going after, and some songs might do that. But I think that this one has actually tried to really have the main ideas of a polished production within, you know, regular pop music, and combine it with the more experimental side songwriting wise. And that's such a cool combination because it really works. It might not work at all times, but I think they pulled it off quite nicely here. And I'm really liking like this reverbed bass walk that they have during the verses, how that worked with I think the first instrumental break with this really high-pitched kind of bell sounds, or the melody that's really higher up in the frequencies. It's a nice contrast because it feels very wide without it being very explosive. It's a very minimalistic approach, but it still feels very complete in the soundstage because it's produced the way it is. So it feels quite complete in that sense. I think that a constant sense of cohesion is really key in the song, and I don't think that it doesn't feel choppy. I know I think I said static as an adjective at a different part of the song. That's not a negative. There were these kind of static hits that panned left and right ear in the backdrop for the rhythm, which is such a cool way to indicate. It's, you know, we've talked about these kind of metronome inputs before, but it's such a cool way to actually create this metronomic rhythm in the background, to actually pan it and have these more static hits, because it really worked when everything surrounded it. And I think that it also worked really well because of the flow of the song being the way it is. It does never feel like there is a lack of a point in how they arranged the song and how they made it flow, because it feels like they continuously wanted the listener to really grasp onto this journey that they're putting together, and you're just tagging along and you're waiting to see where they take you. And it's like these accelerations, I guess you can call them in tempo. They take you off guard at first, and then you just wait and see, okay, are we slowing down at some point? Are we just keep going more rapidly in speed? You know, it's always this constant wondering of where we're heading to next, and that's really effective, I think. And that, of course, goes hand in hand with the experimental approach in both vocally, instrumentally. It's just a nice collection of things that you might not expect upon first listen, and they've really gone all in for it with as many from as many approaches as possible, and I really admire that. I think it's a very effectively put together song right here, and I really enjoyed it. I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. I'm not entirely sold on like the final part of the song when everything comes together, because that's the one part where I feel maybe it was a bit what do you call it? Like static. I've used that word as a both a positive and a negative, but here I think it's a bit more negatively because the beat is very straight during this final chorus. The layering of rhythms that you had earlier in the song doesn't really come across during this final part. It might just be because there's so many things going on that I didn't really pick up on it, but I do think there's a sense of it being kind of too what do you call it? Too within the rules of the beats and the bars. I think there could have been some more variation in the rhythms there to really make it feel like an even wilder experience. I'm not sure. It's a tricky one to really just say what I say, to state something like that in after one listen, but I think that something additional could have been in the final chorus, because I wasn't entirely sold on it, but I might grow on. I might warm up to that. We'll have to see. I think I've rambled on for long enough now, so I will leave you to do whatever else you want to do today. I hope, however, that I will see you in the next video too, because it will be the final one, of course. We're going to the United Kingdom, who are always the last the last country. So I really hope to see you in that one too, to kind of close off this little journey we've had on this channel, and we're building some hype for the actual contest to get going. So I really hope to see you in that one. Other than that, I really hope you take care of yourselves, because yeah, you should do that. And I hope to see you in the next one, as I said. Bye bye.